Alrighty, so we're given the choice of investing the same $100,000 either using simple interest or compound interest, and it's asking us which one's going to earn the greater amount and to show the exact difference between those two amounts. Hopefully, you've read enough of your text that you know that compound interest is going to give you more interest. But now let's figure out exactly how much more, okay? So we're going to start off by doing the simple interest first. And remember, the formula for that is I equals PRT. So the amount of interest we're going to earn. P stands for the principal. Okay, so that original $100,000 we invested. R is going to stand for an interest rate of 6%. Remember, you've got to do that in terms, sorry, I just realized I kind of wrote this a little messy. So I'm going to go back and redo that. Okay, R represents the interest rate, and it needs to be in a decimal number. So we're going to multiply that 100,000 by 6%. And then last but not least, the T for time is going to be times 2 years. So we're going to multiply 100,000 times 0.06 times 2, which means the interest that you earn is going to be $12,000. By using the simple interest formula. Now let's go back and see how much we would make investing the same $100,000, but by using compound interest. And the formula does not actually give you I for interest like simple interest does. Here, A stands for amount. This is the actual amount you'll have at the end. So we are going to have to do it a little bit differently in a second. But I'm just going to write the formula. And now I'll explain what each of those pieces means. So again, the A doesn't stand for the amount of interest you're going to make. It stands for how much money you're going to have at the end, including that original $100,000. So I'll talk about the implications in just a second. P still stands for principal, however. So that P is going to be replaced by the original $100,000 you invest. Don't know what is up with my zeros, looking goofy today. Sorry, guys. Okay, the 1 is just part of the formula, so I'm going to rewrite it. R still stands for rate in the form of a decimal, so it's going to be 0.06. Now, N stands for the number of days because compound interest is compounded daily in this problem. And it says to use the banker's rule, which banker's rule is 360 days in a year. So N is going to be replaced with 360. And then it's all going to be raised using these two numbers up here for an exponent. So again, N is 360 multiplied by T, and T is still 2 years. So once I substitute all those values in there, frequently what's the hardest part for people is actually going through and doing the calculations themselves because of the rounding. I do have another video that I have put into the discussion board to show you how you can use even the most basic calculator to solve this formula. So please check that out. I'm going to assume that you've already watched it, and I'm going to go ahead and just do these calculations. So I get 112,748. And then I get a crazy decimal, 557791. I'm going to stop there because I don't need to go any further than that. Because we're dealing with money, of course, we're going to round to the second decimal place because money has 2 decimals. So that means the amount of money that I have at the end of the term, at the end of the 2 years, is $112,748. and 56 cents, if I've rounded correctly. Now remember that compound interest question does include the original $100,000. That's why the compound interest formula is an A equals, stands for the amount that you have, versus I equals, which is just the interest. So now that I know that I would have $112,000 here at the end, I'm going to subtract out the original $100,000, which means using compound interest, I've earned $100. I've earned $12,748.56. So now that we have the amount earned by each one, as we kind of had a feeling this was going to happen, the compound interest method earned more money than the simple interest method. So now we just need to know how much. So I'm going to subtract the difference. I'm going to do this over here to the side. So the compound interest method got us $12,748.56, whereas the simple interest got us $12,000. So that is a difference of $748.56. So by using compound interest, we made an extra $748.56.